This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and this morning we have three very special guests from the Huron Humane Society. First off, Sydney Johnson.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And I have Cadabra, and you have Bollywood.
Bollywood.
Oh, I love the names. So where did these names come from?
We theme our months, so depending on the month, and month changes the beginning of each year. So, and I'm not, the geocache thing, I'm not familiar with most of those names, but that's where his name came from. And Bollywood came from Dance Month. I think that was our last month was Dance Month. So,
Makes sense.
So we theme them. So they're, and it helps us keep track of when they came in and, you know, when they were born and what month, and it's fun.
Yeah, well, and it kind of reminds you too, like, oh, this was named 2 months ago. We need to adopt this one.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
You know, and we've had so many. I always love when you're on the show because, you know, you bring the little furry friends with you, and I think this is by far the most docile kitten I've held since in the last 2.5 years, I would have to say.
And he came in with, there's 5 of them. They're all gray. They all have different faces, but they're all gray. They're absolutely gorgeous.
And you said you had some that are like the scrunch, smash face ones?
Long face. They all look the same except for their face. They're absolutely just adorable. These were cats that were abandoned in a farm, at a farmhouse, and they went next door, the mom did, and had the babies in a lady's garage. She kept them until about a week ago and brought them to us. So,
oh my goodness. And I saw something too on your social media feed that you found some cats were found behind Young's Appliance.
Yes, well, they were actually, because Young's uses the building behind them, and so they store stuff. So when they opened up the packaging on something, the mom had the kittens inside the bubble wrap, and that's where they all were. The mom is feral. They couldn't catch her, and we said, you know, if she comes back and we can pick her up, we'll take her, but she hasn't come back. So we're kind of hand feeding those kittens. They're in not so good shape, but we'll get them in good shape. So staff has been taking really good care of them.
Oh, and you said right now you have about 80 cats?
We're reaching 80 cats, yeah.
Wow. And that number is probably going to continue to climb.
It's going to continue to grow. There are people coming in every day. It's kitten season, and it's crazy. So, and like these guys came in without a mom. So hand feeding this one we've been doing, and his other 2 siblings have been adopted. But lots of hand feeding, lots of extra care. We have a cat over at Schweitzer's right now that needs a C-section because she has one huge cat that she won't be able to deliver. So there's kittens everywhere.
Yeah, and speaking, you know, with the animals that you have, this is National Adoption Month, and you have during this month is the Bissell National Adoption event that's going on through the Humane Society.
So Bissell event goes from till the 15th of this month. All cats that are eligible to go home, so they have to be old enough to go home, they have to be well enough to go home. So anything 8 weeks and above to adult is $25. That's the base fee. He's going to go to sleep. That is the base fee for the cats. That comes with a free spay and neuter certificate. You have to pay a $50 deposit for that you get back, but you get the sheet to get it done for free, the certificate to get it done for free, and once that's done, we give you your $50 back. They'll be updated on shots, vaccination, deworming as far as we can take them. If they're a little bit older, we can accomplish all of that. So please, please, please come and look at what we have at the shelter and take home a little friend or 2.
My goodness, I think I'm going to be hard to give you this, give you Cadabra back, I think, after today. You know, I know my kids would be extraordinarily happy to have Cadabra in the house, too.
Yeah.
But I
are
love the
adorable.
gray cats.
I know. They're just stunning. They're stunning.
Beautiful. And in the right light, they almost look like a bluish or a purplish. And you know, I've told you this many times. You know, my two that I had for almost 20 years, you know, were gray and black, and they're just wonderful.
They're wonderful. I think he looks good on you.
Yeah, he likes my beard too, which is cool. You know, so you know, with the Bissell event that's going on, you know, it is so important, you know, that the spay and neutering part of it, because well, you know, it takes away from some of those opportunities where you're finding those animals behind Young's Appliance or having 5 or 6 kittens that are being hand fed because, you know, they're being found by individuals. You know, and we don't want the streets, you know, running amok with a lot of different, you know, cats running around. So to keep that population strong and healthy, it is great that this, you know, promotes the responsibility of pet ownership.
Yeah, if they're not, you know, like the cats that are out there that no one finds or catches, they don't live a very easy life and usually have a untimely death in some fashion, whether it's by car or predator, or and it's not fair to them. So spaying and neutering, I know sometimes it's costly, but the cost is nothing to the cats that somebody who doesn't do that puts out into the wild and makes those babies fend for themselves. If they think about it that way, it's kind of cruel.
Yeah, it's really, and just, you know, like I said, you know, promoting that responsibility of, you know, it's just not a creature that's living with you. These are family members.
They are family members. They really are. They're easy to get attached to, and once you get attached to them, how do you live without them?
Right.
But the ones outside deserve the same. They deserve the same, and they wouldn't be out there if people were a little bit more responsible about their animals. Even if they're barn cats, get them spay and neutered. I know people like barn cats to help keep the mice out of the barns, and that's okay, but please get them fixed so that they don't create more babies.
Yeah, and they don't just have one baby.
Yeah, no, they don't. No, they don't.
You know, and they have babies often.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Well, I look forward because we will be having you on the second segment here coming up, but and these two furry friends will be with us as well. That one's about ready to play with your buttons.
He can. He's one of my favorites.
And thank you all for joining us in the first segment. Stay tuned after the break as we continue our conversation with Cindy Johnson from the Huron Humane Society. Welcome back, everybody, as we continue our conversation with Huron Humane Society and our wonderful, beautiful little furry friends here. Yeah, this Cadabra is really, really falling asleep. But as we continue our conversation with Cindy at the Huron Humane Society, you know, one thing that we always talk about when you're on the show as well is volunteering.
Yes.
And, you know, it's especially, you know, with what you do and the amount of work that needs to go into each and every one of these beautiful little creatures is, you know, the cleaning, the feeding, and, you know, to keep the costs down so that, you know, you can have events where, you know, these animals only cost $25,
right,
you know, or something along those lines. It's really important that volunteers show up.
Yeah.
Talk about the process of
The process to volunteer, we have a simple volunteer sheet, you know, where we need name, address, all of that, so we have it on file. But volunteering is like anything you want to do, like simply sitting with cats and petting them to help socialize them. Sometimes when our cat count gets so high, it's difficult for employees to, you know, have this kind of time to sit with them on a daily basis. So volunteers are crucial, even doing this. I love you. I love him.
So
But if you like to clean, you can clean. We have laundry. It's a constant. We have 2 machines, washers and dryers, 2 of each that go all day long. You know, cats, especially kittens, can turn a kennel upside down in no time. So if they spill their water, their food, everything comes out. We start all over again. So we're constantly cleaning. So if you like to clean, you can do that. if you just like to sit with animals, we have the adult cat room that you can go sit with them and help socialize, and we have the kitten room that you can go and sit with them or go from kennel to kennel and just spend time with them. Because if you go up to some of the kennels, especially in nursery, and those kittens that don't have moms, and you walk in there and they come up to the kennel and just start, the minute you come in, they're begging for attention. It all matters to them. So volunteers can really pick and choose what they want to do, but whatever they do helps us.
Well, I'll tell you, from my volunteering experience at the Humane Society is the cats were always my favorite area to be in, and I like to work in a high energy, kind of a crazy environment anyway, working with at the Boys and Girls Club and things of that nature, but in my own chaotic life and things like that. But going in and walking in there, and then all of a sudden there's one cat, and then there's two cats, and then there's like 10 cats, and it's awesome because you're like, I'm gonna pet you, and I'm gonna pet you, and I'm gonna pet you, and they just all come out because they want that socialization, like you were saying.
They do.
And it's such an awesome, and the moment you leave after volunteering, knowing that you took a couple dogs for a walk and gave them that attention, and sitting maybe even for like 2 to 3 minutes with an animal and just giving them that attention they need, you feel so good.
It matters in their lives. It does. And
they don't talk back.
They don't. Well, some of them do. Some of them are vocal, but it's still not mean about it.
Yeah.
Just like that, me. Yeah.
And something else that we wanted to discuss too was that you're hiring as well.
Yes, we are hiring. So if someone likes to work with animals, you don't have to know everything, but if you have a love for animals and a desire to help them, put in an application. We pay more than minimum wage, and we're more than willing to train people on what we do in the shelter and our protocol. So you can have knowledge or no knowledge. You just have to have a love for animals.
Absolutely. Yep. And most people have a love for animals, so it feels like a job that you should be getting tons of applications for, correct?
Maybe. There's a lot of poop scooping that comes with it, but it's still a rewarding thing to do when you can help an animal, especially animals who come in and have issues, and you see them from the time that they came in and their struggles till they finally find their forever home. I can't tell you how rewarding that is. There's nothing better in this world. So
finding a family member for people, I mean, it's just an incredible. This cadaver is totally sleeping at this point. And to make a lot of this happen, when we're talking about the hiring and volunteering, obviously you're looking for items to donate for the animals themselves.
Yes. Some of the constant things we need at the shelter is wet cat food, and the kittens usually like pate the best. So even a can or two at a time helps us. Laundry soap, dish soap. We do a lot of laundry. We do a lot of dishes. Bleach. We use a couple capfuls of bleach in our cleaning water and in our dishwater to help sanitize things. But those are things we need like every single day. So.
And like one really great thing, and I know we have a very creative and crafty community, is lap blankets.
Oh yeah.
Even like old blankets that you might have around the house, or having fabric. I know some of our youth volunteers, have helped make some of these types of items. They're very simple, and it's nice because when you get up and go to a meeting afterwards, you don't have cat and dog hair all over you. So. They're very beneficial.
And we use those in the kennels too. So to help with our washer and dryer, so they don't have to work so hard. We like smaller things to put in the kennels for the animals to lay on. So we even, if somebody sends us a quilt that maybe has a hole here and a hole there, we cut it into manageable pieces, so a couple of them together, so it's kind of more like a pad, and they're perfect sizes for the kennel. So if there's a crafty person out there that wants to do that for us, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and even making cat and dog toys too.
Yes.
My
Yes.
aunt was, she loves to, for her own animals, she makes cat toys and fills it with catnip, and and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. But and it's such an easy way to do something very beneficial for your organization, and especially for the animals that are there.
And those are things people can do at home and then just drop off. They don't have to carve time out of their day to come inside the shelter. Because I do know that some people have a hard time coming into a shelter because they feel sorry for the animals. And I tell them not to please come into the shelter, because the animals love to see you, and when you see how well taken care of they are, don't be sad about it, because they will find a home.
They will find a home.
Yeah.
And just in the very last minute that we have here, you have a raffle fundraiser that's coming up.
We do have a raffle fundraiser coming up from May 5th to June 5th. Jack Davison has built us a potting bench. It's on display at Young's Appliance. So we're selling raffle tickets. They are $5 each, or 3 for $10, and we will have that drawing on June 15th. And as soon as we get the bench all put together, we'll post it on Facebook and start the fundraiser.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's they can pick up tickets probably at Young's Appliance.
Young's will sell them, and all board members will have them. Probably staff will have them at the shelter, so there'll be plenty of places to get them.
Excellent. Good. Well, thank you again, Cindy,
You're
for being
welcome.
on today and bringing these these cuddly creatures. They were really good. Well behaved.
They were.
This one barely moved.
I know. That's because he wants her to take them
I know.
home.
Oh, jeez, I know. Hopefully my kid's not watching right now.
I'll send him a video.
But thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us too, as we continue to learn about the wonderful world of nonprofits in our local community. Stay tuned after the break for the ACC segment.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to talk to you this morning about the events of this week at ACC. It's an intense, joyous, fun, celebratory week. It's commencement week. We had commencement last night in a remarkable turnout, an historic, I think, large crowd. The gymnasium where commencement is held was absolutely packed, which is not uncommon. But we had a spillover room where the events were live streamed. That was Granum Theater. That seats 240 people, roughly. Probably 11 or 1,200 in Park Arena. Both were filled to capacity, and just the size of the crowd alone and made it enjoyable, memorable. But it's mainly about the graduates and their completion and their journey at ACC coming to an end successfully, and their parents and loved ones able to share in that. From where I stand at the podium at commencement, that's what I see. I see joyous people. They're not all 18 or 19-year-old young people who are transferring to the university and going that route. There's a decreasing number of those, actually. And what we see now more are a more diverse group of occupational students, for sure, line workers, concrete tech, auto service, many of our occupational programs, nursing for sure. And these folks are, in some cases, already employed by the time they go through commencement. But to see the joy on their faces and, the relief in some cases, the sense of accomplishment. And then to be able to share that with their loved ones who come from, in some cases, a long ways off to share in this evening. And then to have that shared collectively by the faculty and staff and trustees. You know, the premise of our work culminates in this evening, that commencement event. There's, you know, hundreds and thousands of decisions, you know, really that have to be made along the way, you know, in concert, in alignment to support that success. And I think we do a pretty good job of that, keeping our eye on the main point, and that is helping students succeed. An old mentor of mine, Dr. Newport, shared this philosophy one time, and he was absolutely right. People vote with their feet, he told me. And I think the context of that advice had to do with you know, a distant millage that we were working on, and the notion was if people care about, you know, passing the millage, they come out and vote, and if they're kind of indifferent about you, they find reasons not to. But this applies across what we do. And people vote with their feet, they stay away, but they also come. And I think that was the takeaway that many folks had, was just how many people voted with their feet to come to ACC for commencement last night. It was a lovely thing to see. The evening before, Wednesday evening, we had nurses pinning, which is a very powerful, moving event. Nursing is a competitive, intense, difficult, and I would say stressful program. And the students who are in it, you know, they're working. Both the content is hard and the clinical setting is stressful, very stressful. And we had 53 graduates, which I think was a record number. Many good things going on in the nursing area, but the relief of the students and the gratitude they have for the instruction they received was palpable. And it made me feel proud about the work that our director of nursing and our Kelly Lesk and the faculty are doing in that area. We also had some alumni nurses that attended, which was great. This is an idea of the ACC Foundation. And we awarded the first Florence Nightingale Award for career accomplishments in nursing. That went to Cheryl Lemke, well deserved. And then yesterday morning, we had something called an honors breakfast over at the Aplex. Lovely event for our honors students, and there were a lot of them, and their parents, and the faculty. And it was very classy, had breakfast, had a program, really just shared in a couple of the things about that. At that event, we honor the John M. Grant Frontrunner Awards. This is a very interesting piece. Lucas and Janet Pfeifenberger created a scholarship in the name of Janet's father, Mr. Grant, and it salutes and gives scholarships to students who have persevered and overcome a lot of challenges and succeeded. And it's offered to male students and female students. Both of them were from the southern area of our service district down in Iosco County. And both had amazing stories of just hanging in there. You know, that it didn't all go smoothly in the beginning. They had to persevere. They had to demonstrate resilience. They had to stick with it. In some cases, just against amazing odds. And they did. And they succeeded. Then they received honors. They were honor students. So this is a part of the community college puzzle that a lot of people, unless they're really involved in it, don't see. And that is kind of I guess second chance would be an approximate term, but it's a place where people can kind of reassess and start over and figure things out and get started again. And many do. And all of that we celebrate this week. It's a wonderful week. We thank you folks who were there last night and who support ACC. And we will see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Queen Bee's Knees LLC production, a Morgan Murphy media company. All rights reserved.